All right, doctor, explain to me exactly how you analyze this data. And remember, to put it in perspective for those of us who don't have over a dozen patents here, explain it to us in lay terms what this means.
So you don't want to hear about the Pearson product moment correlation coefficient. Okay, it's pretty simple. We didn't do anything really complex. You have data for something you're worried about, yield, cost, and you have a variable you think might be an input, and you do a graph, and then you put what's called a least squares line through the data, and then you calculate how well the line fits the data. I did that because I was planning on complaining about the government taking weeks to argue about various things, and during that time people were dying. When we got the data back, and this is a simple thing to do, get hit right in the face. It didn't matter. Can't be. Screwed up the data. Try it again. We brought in 3 different people. We looked at it. The data was right. And what it said is that it didn't matter the death rate in the state, how many people per million died, didn't correlate with how fast they shut down from the time they knew they had COVID till the time they shut down. And in retrospect, things are always obvious in retrospect. In retrospect, South Dakota didn't shut down for 35 days at the time of our study, and they didn't have a problem at all, very low death rate. Why? It's a plain state, and they don't have a lot of people. New York City shut down right away, and they had the worst problem in the United States. Why? Because they're all together. They're all living in subway tubes. They travel in subway tubes, and the infection probability is much higher. So then we ran a second correlation, which was death rate versus population density, and it went like that. And it said the denser the population is, the higher the death rate is. Okay, well that's kind of obvious too. So the conclusion that I would come to is I would start looking at lowly populated areas, some states. California, there are 10, 12 counties that have 0 deaths. Why are they shut down? And I would start loosening things up in the place least likely to do harm and move on through quickly to let people get their livelihood back.